101 Facts about the USA. You might be surprised to learn that the area of the United States of America is 9,147,593 square kilometers, making it the fourth largest country in the world by area, trailing only Russia, Canada, and China. In terms of population, the USA, although significantly behind, still holds its position as the third most populous country in the world, with 341,618,796 people. Interestingly, 90% of the country's population lives on credit. Every seventh American has 7 or more credit cards. If you thought everyone in the USA speaks English, think again. English, or rather its American variant, is not legally established as the official language. It is spoken by 78% of the population, which is why it is used almost everywhere. The history of the USA plays a role here, as it was originally just another relatively small English colony. Authorities could exile prisoners there, and people from all over the world came to America to conduct free business or simply start a new life. England noticed something brewing and began to tightly control the activities of people still in its colony. However, in 1776, the War of Independence occurred, after which the United States of America was formed. There are 50 states in total. Gradually, starting from 1776, new states joined the country, with the last time this happening in 1959 when Hawaii became a full part of the USA. Each state has its unique nature, which distinguishes it from another. Because of this, some Americans never leave their country. By traveling to another state, they encounter a different culture, flora, fauna, and so on. Alaska, one of the northernmost states of the USA, once belonged to Russia. It was sold in 1867 for the then astronomical sum of $7.2 million. By the way, Alaska boasts the longest coastline of 6,640 miles. It is also the state with the harshest climate compared to the rest of the country. States can pass laws that apply only within their territory. For example, in Arizona, you will be fined if you put a donkey to sleep in a bathtub. Yes, a real bathtub. And in Alabama, there is a strict ban on putting ice cream in your pocket. Yes, such things happen. Americans are workaholics. Many come to work at 6 a.m. and feel no discomfort leaving the office close to midnight. The states of New York and Pennsylvania have Amish and Mennonite communities, known for completely rejecting modern conveniences. America is considered one of the main champions of democracy. But interestingly, women in the United States gained the right to vote only in 1920. The native population of America is the Native Americans, but they became official citizens only after 1924. The national motto of the country is "In God We Trust." There is no officially established religion in the USA, as freedom of religion is paramount. The dollar is the most convertible currency in the world. More than 35 million banknotes of various denominations are produced daily. The right to print money is held by 12 banks that are part of the Federal Reserve System, and the paper for dollar banknotes is produced by a single company. Every fifth dollar from taxes goes to the defense industry and military needs. Benjamin Franklin, who is not a U.S. president, is depicted on the $100 bill. The most densely populated state is New Jersey, and the most urbanized is California. The USA is the world's largest consumer. American citizens consume about 40% of the world's resources. In 1636, the very first university in the USA was founded, which is still known today as Harvard. What is called snitching in Belarus, Russia, and throughout Europe is considered vigilance in America. If Americans see something or someone suspicious in a neighbor's yard, they will call the police without hesitation. One characteristic of the American mentality is hyperpatriotism. Modern Americans see themselves as descendants of the Founding Fathers, who fought for the country's independence with blood and sweat. Only 51% of the U.S. population is legally married. As a result, about 40% of children are born out of wedlock, and more than 60% of men and women suffer from obesity. Cheese for the rotund, cheese for the plump. It's no wonder, considering Americans consume 150 million hot dogs daily and eat more ice cream than any other nation. Philadelphia was the first capital of America. The city's name translates from Greek as brotherly love. The colors of the U.S. flag are identical to those of the Russian flag. Each of the 3 colors used in the U.S. national flag represents specific qualities foundational to the country. Red symbolizes valor and endurance, blue represents diligence, justice, and vigilance, while white stands for innocence and purity. Interestingly, the number of stars on the flag equals the number of U.S. states, and the number of stripes symbolizes the number of colonies that formed the independent United States. Here's something surprising: the design of the modern U.S. flag was created by a 17-year-old student. It was a school assignment for which he received a grade of B. The highest temperature ever recorded in the USA was 132 degrees Fahrenheit in California's Death Valley, while the lowest was -79.6 degrees Fahrenheit in Alaska. More presidents were born in Virginia than in any other state. In America, nearly every family owns a car, and most families have more than one vehicle. Specifically, only a tiny fraction of families do not have a car, the other 99% do. If you look at our planet from space, the brightest spot will be Las Vegas. Gambling activities have been legal in Nevada since 1931. Las Vegas, located in Nevada, is considered the unofficial capital of casinos and gambling. Interestingly, this legalization was initially done to boost the state's budget, which needed funds to build public schools. None of the casinos in Las Vegas have clocks or windows. Staff are prohibited from wearing wristwatches and from answering questions about the time. This is done to make visitors lose track of time and spend more money. According to statistics, the number of residents in Nevada is approximately equal to the number of slot machines in Las Vegas. These machines bring in about $10 billion annually for Nevada. Las Vegas was discovered by chance in 1829 when a trading caravan traveling from Texas to California got lost. The thirsty travelers found a source of fresh water and named the place Las Vegas, which means the meadows in Spanish. Also located in Nevada is the famous Area 51, a highly classified area owned by the U.S. government. One of the most recognizable symbols of the USA, the Statue of Liberty, was a gift from France. Interestingly, its architect was Gustave Eiffel, the future creator of the Eiffel Tower. The USA is among the top 3 most popular tourist destinations in the world. There is a monument called the Four Corners, which is located at the unique intersection of 4 U.S. states, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona. The USA has the largest economy in the world, with a GDP of $23 trillion. The first film in the world was shown in 1894 in New York City, using a kinetoscope invented by Thomas Edison. The following year, the second film in the world was also shown in New York. The USA has the world's largest highway network and the longest system of railroad tracks. It is the only developed country that does not provide free healthcare for its citizens. Harvard researchers found that nearly 45,000 Americans die annually due to lack of medical insurance. The United States has the highest incarceration rate in the world. By 2012, there were 730 prisoners for every 100,000 Americans. Hawaii is home to the tallest mountain peak in the world. The height of the underwater volcano, considering its underwater part, surpasses Mount Everest by almost 2 kilometers. The United States is, of course, a country of immigrants. About 1 million people arrive here every year. In the late 19th century, 85% of immigrants were from Europe, but a century later, 70% came from Asia and Latin America. The largest group in the USA is Mexicans, numbering over 11 million, followed by Indians at about 2.7 million, and Chinese at nearly 2.3 million. The largest Chinatown in the Western Hemisphere is located in San Francisco and Manhattan, New York. The most well-known area for immigrants from the former USSR is Brighton Beach in Brooklyn, New York. It is home to 70,000 to 80,000 Russians, as all immigrants from the former Soviet Union are called by Americans. Slavery, which began in America in 1619, was abolished by Abraham Lincoln in 1862, the same man depicted on the $5 bill. Silicon Valley, located in California, is concentrated with many world-renowned high-tech companies. Headquarters of YouTube, Apple, Intel, Google, Facebook, Xerox, and others are situated here. The USA is the birthplace of skyscrapers. The tallest skyscraper in the USA and the Western Hemisphere, the Freedom Tower in Lower Manhattan, ranks 7th on the list of the tallest buildings on the planet. In the USA, limited editions of banknotes with a huge denomination of up to $100,000 are printed. However, these bills are only used for internal transfers between banks and other financial institutions. Here's what an American passport looks like. According to statistics, every 8th American has worked at McDonald's for at least a few days. The business card of the most famous gangster in American history, Al Capone, indicated that he was a furniture salesman. Interestingly, according to statistics, Americans with a college education earn an average of $1 million more than those without. Russia has a maritime border with the USA. It runs through the Bering Strait, separating Asia from North America. At its narrowest point, the strait is 54 miles wide, but the border is much wider because each country has its own territorial waters. There are many cities across America with names like Paris, Moscow, Berlin, St. Petersburg, and so on. Just a few centuries ago, local settlers liked to name their towns after European capitals. Texas has a unique status. De jure, it's a separate state within the USA, but with a number of restrictions. Only Texas has the right to fly its flag on par with the national flag. Many championships, festivals, and other mass events here are referred to as global. For example, the American Football World Championship, even though other countries don't participate, is called global. Simply put, many Americans aren't interested in anything beyond their native country. They really don't care, and that's a fact. The most dangerous state in the USA, judging by the murder rate, is Louisiana in the south, while the safest is New Hampshire, a small state in the northeast. In 7 American states, atheists are prohibited by law from holding public office. To this day, every 8th American county was formed thanks to internet acquaintances. The capital of the USA is Washington, although officially it's not called that. Its name is the District of Columbia. There's also the state of Washington, but it's located far away from there, in the northwest of the country. About 4% of the world's population are U.S. citizens. The unemployment rate in the USA remains high despite all efforts by the authorities. The total number of unemployed here is roughly equal to the population of the entire country of Greece, 11 million people. You must have immediately thought of unemployment benefits. It's indeed possible to live on them here, but very modestly. Social housing provided by the state is located in areas that quickly turn into criminal ghettos, and living there is unsafe. Tension between different ethnic groups is one of the most acute social problems for the USA. The official ban on marriages between representatives of different races in this country was lifted only in 1967, and gangs in Los Angeles or New York and many other cities, divided into territories, exist and fight to this day. The top 1% of the wealthiest citizens of the USA owns as much money as 90% of the rest of the population of this country. But the 101st fact, friends, write it in the comments. And, of course, just support us for such great content. After all, we really try hard for you. Like, subscribe, comment, and see you soon.